morning, everybody. First off, thank you to Rick Heinrich, I hope I'm saying that right, sent me this book, The Saga of Iron Annie. I actually saw this old Yonkers at the 1977 fly-in in Lakeland. And Martin Kay, this was just right about the time this book was written. We've all seen that airplane in a few movies. And that bird's still going. There's only a few of those things left flying in the world. I remember my brother built a model of one, pretty much painted up in similar colors. Of course, it had the different cowlings on it because it was the earlier model. He would have a couple of photographs that I took with an Instamatic camera, that very airplane from that fly-in. And of course, I'm a kid with a little Kodak Instamatic. If anybody remembers Kodak Instamatics, or for that matter, Kodak. Of course, they're just dots in the sky, but we got a couple close up. And we went there with Herr Eisenstein, which was a family friend who he had been a Tiger tank driver, or as he put it, Tiger Panzerschauffeur in the Second World War. And he was all excited to see that because he'd ridden around in them. And there was also one of those Spanish Messerschmitts, the Casa Buchons, it was purple. And one of you guys, and I forget who it was offhand, sent me a picture you had of it and some information on it. Apparently been to that same fly-in or others, and we're familiar with it. And you knew who owned it. I think you said the Whittingtons or somebody. Or it's always kind of interesting to see these Warbirds, and you find out there's nothing uncommon about finding out the guy who owns it's the guy that's flying it. But sometimes you find out, oh, this company or this family owns it, but they hire so and so to fly it. So that's interesting because you don't make any money going to air shows. So somebody's meowing for some attention. But of course, then you run home and buy a model and paint it up like that. The cars I'm going to get started on this afternoon. I have PT today, but I got to swing by the hobby shop and get some paint. I think I'm going to do that 67 in a nice blue. And it looks nice to have a couple of those on the shelf. It's funny with those somebody pointed out, and they were right, with those one piece car bodies, the way they can do them now. You don't have all that sanding and everything. I was trying to make seam lines disappear, and I had to put my finger on what it was, but that is what changes the model building experience a pretty good bit. And my video from the 11th got taken down. My coffee video I didn't do it. Somebody yanked it off of YouTube, and I had used the George of the Jungle. I think that's the one that got pulled. Maybe it was a copyright thing. I don't know. It was just gone. I didn't hear anything from anybody. And I looked and it said video deleted. And I'm like, huh. Because YouTube does what it wants. See, this is why I don't monetize. So I'm just, I'm like, oh, well, I've lost a video that I shot, drinking coffee. Well, I'll survive that, but no money involved or anything. I mean, I could re-upload it without the end piece and see if it stays up, but it was just one of my morning bull sessions. I don't think anybody's that interested. But it does kind of make you wonder. So I had a friend of mine call me. He said, could I make him a model of a Stagecoach? So we snooped around. We found that 1/16 scale Lindbergh line Stagecoach. And I think it's like 2.5 feet when you're done with all the horses out there. And So we found one on eBay that I've got a bid on. I haven't ordered it yet, and that's all well and good. And that'll be something new to model. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Just I don't know if I don't think I've ever built a model of a horse or stagecoach or anything like that. So that should be interesting. I want to do him a real nice job. So when that shows up, I'll cover it. But then I'm going to put it on display. Then I got to transport it over to Tallahassee. So and I'm not going to ship that. Obviously, it's about a 2.5 hour drive. But what the heck? I haven't seen my old buddy in a while. It'll be a good excuse to travel over there. So if any of you guys have done that Lindbergh Stagecoach, let me know what you think about it down in the comments. You know, it looks pretty straightforward as far as I can tell, but it does have a lot of little detail pieces, and I might replace some of them like the reins and stuff, or I might have plastic. I might replace those with string, or if I can find some really thin leather strip or something. But whatever, you know, it's all good. I didn't notice if it came with any luggage for the top or not. He was kind of, yeah, we need some bedrolls and luggage. He wants it like a Wells Fargo stage, and I'll probably have to make some decals for it, but that shouldn't be the end of the world. You know, I don't know if I've ever built, well, Godzilla doesn't count, but I don't think I've ever built a model of a creature like a dinosaur or anything. I may have. I don't remember it. I don't even think I built any of the creatures for that matter, except for the big G. I could still remember seeing the Aurora torture set at the dime store. I'm looking at that thing and just going, I don't think so. I'm a model airplane. And that was the thing, if you guys recall, was around 70, 71 that caused the big stir with Aurora. Because Aurora had been bought by General Mills, which is a food company. And when they had basically run out of creatures to make, they started making, you know, their own ideas. And then, of course, they came up with Dr. Evil or whoever. And then they had his torture devices, and it was like, you know, his parents wanted to eat. I mean, I don't remember any outrage. Of course, I never brought one home. I imagine my mom probably wouldn't have been too thrilled if she'd seen one. But according, if I remember right, in Thomas Graham's book, apparently they were so outraged they were literally mothers with signs, parents with signs, protesting outside of I don't know if it was General Mills or Aurora. I think it might have been General Mills headquarters, you know, but anyway, one of the executives called the executive from the model company or something. It was like, you know, they're outside with signs. What should I do? And the guy's response was, pray for rain. That makes you wonder how many protests have been broken up by bad weather. So I am really happy that the Fantastic Plastic video has done well. It had like 1,200 hits in like 5 hours. So, hooray, yay! And a couple of you guys have put me in contact with some other resin model makers who make some pretty interesting stuff. So, and then I found the information on the Squadron shop, and I still have I have most of the material for a couple of Japanese companies, but I have to write it all up. So Nishimoko, however you say it. And I have some information for Max, Peerless Max. Well, but most importantly, Andy Yanchus has started, has gotten a lot of the Strombecker stuff together. So I will be working on that over the next week or so, and see what we come up with. And Strombecker, which was later renamed Strombecker, will probably de-emphasize Doused, because it's kind of like the AMT Earl stuff. It gets a little confusing because you have two unrelated companies, one buys out the other, makes a bunch of changes, and explains why the company winds up getting out of one business and shifting to, and then this gets bought by that, and the joys of corporate mergership. It always amazes me how much effort it takes for someone to set up a company to manufacture even resin kits, and but especially injected molded plastic. And then they're around a couple of years and like, yeah, this isn't working, sell them off. And I'm still staggered by the fact that Aurora kept its doors open, putting kits out at roughly 43 cents a piece. And when you just think about how much infrastructure a large company like Aurora needed, and how many units they had to put out just to keep the doors open, the mathematics of it. And I imagine this goes really for any injection molded company of any type. But it's just, and then they did well for a long time, but just the most subtle burp in the economy or people's buying patterns, it's just amazing. Well, you look at Intex, they were also into the video games and stuff, and they made big money doing that for a while, and then it just, like the slot cars, it died as fast as it started. The pace of business is just amazing. You can almost always tell when a company is made by people who want to be making models versus people who just want to make money. Well, guys, I guess that's all for this morning. I have my day cut out for me, so physical therapy and then back to the grind of making models and videos and having the cats stare at me. I can see the plotting, the little wheels in her mind turning. Should I wait for him to be asleep and get him then? How do I plot your demise? She is literally staring right at me with an unnerving concentration. Well, we'll see you guys later. You have a wonderful day, and hopefully we'll see you tonight. Coffee, coffee, coffee! See, she's sneaking up behind me, isn't she? Uh-huh. Oh, never take your eyes off of her.